and happy Friday. I am Rachel Osterling. I'm going to be the host for the Tier 2 Updates webinar today. If you guys are familiar, I am the Central Area Lead for the Tier 2 team. As a reminder, this is a continuous webinar that we're going to have on a monthly basis, which will be the last Friday of every month at 10:30 a.m. And we would just encourage you guys to encourage your team members to attend these webinars if you can. If you can't attend them, like Kat said, you can go out to our website. The recordings and the PowerPoints will be posted there. So again, thank you for joining, and I hope you enjoy our updates today that I have for you. So the first slide here, I'm just going to give you an overview of some of the topics that we're going to talk about today. The first thing that we're going to talk about is what is the future for the risk prevention consultants? What does that role look like coming up? We have some Relias trainings that are going to be available that I'll review with everybody. We have partnered up with the provider relations team for their onboarding process with new providers. So I'll give you a little insight on what we're doing with that team. I will briefly go over the value-based payments, and then I'll also have a QR code on the screen as well. So that will take you directly to their website for more detailed information. Like I said, I'm just going to go over it briefly today. I'll also go over the Children's Division Executive Team collaboration work group that's going on and what project that they're currently working on. And then last, I will go over some OpEx, the process map that we are working on in that work group as well. So like I said, the first thing that we're going to go over today is what that role looks like for our consultants on the Tier 2 team. So we have 3 goals that are coming up: preparing and sending out the Tier 2 intervention packages that we're working on for our provider agencies, providing those regular scheduled reviews and giving them feedback. And then thirdly, completing assessments and doing some regular tiered meetings with our provider agencies as well. So for our providers, we see there is a need where those that we serve need access to those prevention supports to help reduce their risk of being in those crisis situations, something that we're seeing more frequent, unfortunately, recently. These intervention packages will assist our providers in teaching the individual some new skills in hopes of reducing some of those crisis situations that may arise. And then this also helps our consultants provide the same messaging through and training throughout the state so that everyone has the same training and the same skills so that they can be a little bit more successful with their individuals in their agency. So for example, we're currently tracking which providers are serving those 30-day notices the most, so we can kind of see a trend there with which providers are submitting those notices. We have some packaged workshops to help teach these providers things that they can do to help prevent giving these 30-day notices, and what are some of those behaviors that might lead up to those crisis situations that those providers feel like they have to submit those 30-day notices. Then we will be providing, like I said, some regular reviews and feedback with our provider agencies, and then completing those assessments along with those tiered meetings with our agencies as well. Providing those assessments and scheduled tier meetings, this will allow for our team to measure what we are doing and should be doing, and if what we're doing is actually helping us meet our desired goals and our desired impact with our providers and their individuals. This will also help us see who needs a little bit more hands-on assistance and what supports will help that provider be more successful with their individuals as well. So some examples with that, we also have some tools and resources for our provider agencies and their teams relating to those risk factors. And then we also plan to do some one-on-one provider coaching for them in the future, and that will come shortly. The next thing that I'm going to talk about is some upcoming Relias training. So currently on the Tier 2 team, we have an intervention work group, and they are working on providing those intervention packages that I had talked about on the previous slide. Those intervention packages are for our provider agencies. They recently created a task analyst training that is now available on Relias. The second training, you guys should all be aware that we have our transition workshop that we do monthly. Right now, we're doing those in person. I just completed a recording of the how to facilitate transition meetings. Once that recording is done with the editing process, we will have that added to the Relias as well. So just stay tuned and we will let you guys all know once that has been posted. And again, the next thing I'm going to go over is the provider relations onboarding. Like I said, our Tier 2 team has partnered with the PR team to assist them in their onboarding process with new providers. So in their onboarding process, they're highlighting just a few things that the Tier 2 team covers in our process. And some of those things that they're covering with the new providers is how those providers can review that documentation on the consumer referral database, also known as the CRD. How those providers can make the most appropriate acceptance based off of their trainings and their specializations, whatever they specialize, certain areas. And then what those providers can, where those providers can locate some of those resources that we have on our website, like how to access our Tier 2 webpage and how to access our community transition webpage, along with those monthly workshops that we have, like the transition workshops and the extra scoops workshops and other resources that we have. And some of the next topic we're going to cover is the value-based payment. Like I had mentioned earlier, I do have the QR code, which is at the top left-hand corner of your screen. So if you want to take a minute while I'm briefly going over this, you can scan that into your phone. That will take you directly to that value-based payment web page for a little bit more detailed information. But just a little quick summary. This is a system that is a reimbursement incentive for providers, a money incentive to providers based on the value and the quality of the services that they provide to the community and to the individuals. The tentative start date for this is supposed to be January of 2023, and I think that is pending budget approval, so I did put that in there. So this is an opportunity for an agency to establish progressive wage scales, professional development, and staff credentials for their agency so that they can continue to serve our individuals in the capacity that's needed. And like I said, they're hoping that that will start in January of 2023. The next thing I want to go over is the Children's Division Executive Team work group that they have. So we're reworking what the child-specific contract process is and what it should look like moving forward in the future. So we're really trying to improve that child-specific contract and get some things lined out with that. So we just ask that you stay tuned with this, and we will give you some more information as that work group moves along. And once that's completed, we will send that information out as well. And the last thing I wanted to cover here is the OpEx. As you guys know, OpEx is known for driving the management cycle with those skills that are needed, the capabilities, the mindsets, and the process to deliver performance and organizational health to continue improving our departments throughout the state and within the state. So the first workshop with DD, some of the things that they've been working on is a contract process. So they're doing a process map with that, and a process map with transitioning out of the Department of Behavioral Health facilities and what that process looks like, mapping that out, and then the intake process as well. And then they're going to go through each process and do a process map for each team. So we'll keep you posted on that as well. And that is all I have for you guys today. Like Kat had said, if you have any questions, feel free to put those in the chat and I will get back with you later. She'll send me those questions and I will get back with you as soon as I can to answer those questions to the best of my ability. And if I need to reach out to my counterparts and my supervisor, I will do that as well. Again, thank you for joining today. I really appreciate it. And our next Tier 2 update webinar is going to be on October 28th at 10:30. And I look forward to seeing you guys there. Thank you.